Okay, I'm just getting set up, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 429. What's down here? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. It is 4:30, and as promised, I am here. Okay, your girl is here. Hold on. I just need a couple of things. Okay. Come on in, y'all. Come on in and join me. Yes, and I don't go up today. I don't know where my other is right there. Hold on, let me put on my watch. I think I have everything. I got paper towels. Okay. I got paper towels. I'll just set that right there. Hello.
Hey,
Okay.
what was the guy's name? Ricky and who else?
Cody was the manager, and Rick.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Let's copy. All right, we're going to get started. Okay, I'm going to get started. It is 4:32. Hello, 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 and welcome. Because what I do realize is although I am live at this very moment, okay, I know that this video will be up for replay. Okay, and so I'm still going to talk as if you are live with me in the moment right here, right now. So this is Beauty Basics 101. Okay, and so today I'm going to just be talking about those staple items, your makeup, and those tools that you need to execute a flawless face each and every single time. Okay, but before I go ahead and get into that, let me introduce myself for those that do not know me. My name is Lisa Singleton. I am the owner of TMB Makeup Artistry. I am a freelance makeup artist, and I have been providing beauty services to beautiful women all across the 757 and in Maryland and Buffalo. Okay, for about 7 years now. Okay. I am a bridal makeup artist. That is my number one niche, right? My aesthetic, my signature look is natural glam makeup. Okay, that is what I am good at. That is what I am known for. When people want that natural beauty that pops, they come see me. Now, granted, there are hundreds of fabulous and phenomenal makeup artists in my area, okay, in the Tidewater, Hampton Roads, 757 area. All right, and we all can execute, a variety of looks. All right. Also, just a little bit about myself. I also am a teacher. All right, I've been teaching for 16 years and working in special education. And honestly, God put me in both of these positions to be able to work with women in makeup and work with children. I've always wanted to just jump in and work with kids and help them build their self-esteem, because I realized that pop culture is crazy and children are so impressionable. And I wanted to be in a classroom where I could work with students who already have difficulties learning, but then also to help empower them to build their self-esteem and to give them that knowledge to be able to decipher from the images and the things that they're bombarded with on a daily basis. And so kind of how I got into makeup is that I have a background in theater. I've been in the performing arts for as long as I can remember. Okay, so shout out to Miss Barbara's dance school, right? I've been dancing and singing and all of these things, acting for quite some time in my life, right, in my younger years. And so when I had Julian, he's 9 years old. When I had Julian, I kind of wanted to dress him up for his first Halloween, and I wanted to kind of get into, I wanted him to be Tigger, and I wanted to be the mommy cat. Right. And so I wanted to go back and recreate, that kind of character makeup. And so I did searching on YouTube and on the internet and found a whole bunch of YouTube videos and people just doing makeup. I had no idea that the beauty community on YouTube was so large and that people were actually making money doing makeup. And so I was looking and I'm like, I can do that. And so 2011, I just kind of went in and just started practicing and building my kit and working on friends. And, I really do appreciate those first clients that hired me, that allowed me to, that I did trade work for, so I can build up my talents and my experiences, because now I have what we call TMB Makeup. Okay. And so that's a little bit about myself. And so with the makeup, also with my educational background, I've found that when women sat in my chair, women, I don't care how beautiful that we feel, that we are, people complimenting us all the time. There are still some things sometimes within us that we do feel insecure about, and we may not feel as beautiful as other people perceive us to be, And so when I had these conversations with women, I realized, I really love speaking life into the women that are sitting in my chair. If we happen to stumble upon these conversations, I don't go in trying to go in and psychoanalyze you and fix all your problems. That is not what I do. Okay. But for whatever reason, it is God. I already know. But because of God, we end up having these conversations. And a lot of the times, those women that I'm working on, my clients, they speak life into me. And I realize that it is these experiences, just like when you go to the salon and you get your hair done, you cherish your hairdresser. They go through all these events with you, because sometimes if you stress, what happened? Your hair fall out. You be like, girl, you stressed, you know what I'm saying? But we cherish those relationships with the people that provide us with beauty services, because you just end up trusting them. You end up being able to discuss your life, especially with somebody who genuinely you feel comfortable with, genuinely that has your best interest, that's not going to steer you wrong, and that will execute 100% of the time something that you will always love. Okay, and so I came full circle into makeup along those lines, and just wanting to always, I call makeup my ministry, and just being able to work with women in that regard, and just to build each other up. I know that when you feel good on the inside, it's going to show on the outside, you know? But sometimes when we can't get that outside together, it does kind of, make us feel a certain way on the inside. You know what I mean? And so just to be able to give you that little bit of glam, that little bit of polishness on the already beautiful canvas that God has given you. That brings so much joy to my heart when I see women happy because, oh my gosh, I didn't know I looked like this. Yeah, boo, you do, because I do natural glam. I don't totally transform you, make you look something that you completely are not used to. I still make you look like yourself, but you look like just a more polished version, okay, if you will. And so today I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to show you those things that I use personally on me, the brushes that I love, all right, to help you execute those kinds of looks on yourself. And now we have COVID, right? Ain't nobody really going out, but outside is open and the numbers got crazy again and it's a lot going on. All right. I mean, 2020 has been a hell of a year. Okay. Hey, my boy Derek, what's up? How you doing? How are you? How are you? So where's your wifey? Where is she at? Because she need to hop on here with you so she can see what I got going on. Where is wifey? Okay. How's the baby? How's everything going? Okay. All right. So I just want to say what up. What up to Derek? Okay. So thank you for joining me. Let me just say that. Thank you all for joining me. Okay. So, ladies, during these COVID times, okay, you can be COVID conscious and cute all at the same time, okay? Because there's a lot going on, and I know sometimes people feel a little guilty that, we're focusing on makeup, and there's so many political and economic and health things going on, and you want to be conscious, and you want to, power to the people, Black Lives Matter, and it does. It all matters, okay? It all matters. How you feel about yourself, how you present yourself to the world, all right, is what gives you that power, all right, along with your knowledge and how you educate yourself. All of these factors contribute to a total you, all right? And so beauty, ladies, that's very important to us as women. Our hair done, nails done, hair done, nails done, everything did, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Because you fancy, huh? You fancy? Okay, all right? She's getting food. Okay, that's what's up. We'll just show it a replay. Okay, show it a replay. Okay, so now let's start off with tools. I want to start off with tools because when I go into these little beauty basics over here, I'll kind of pair the makeup with the tools so you understand how this stuff kind of works. Okay, so let's start off with some fundamentals that everybody kind of needs. All right, I don't know where you do your makeup. I do my makeup in the bathroom. Okay, I have my little vanity set up in the bathroom, so I'm able to go and wash my hands if I need to. But some of you may have like a beauty room or a space that's somewhere in your bedroom, not necessarily in the bathroom. All right, and so you always need wipes. Okay, because you can easily, quickly clean off your hands. If you make any messes, you can clean them up. All right, so I keep baby wipes on deck. I keep them on deck. These are the Huggies Natural Care. Okay, love these. All right, keep these on deck at all times. You need wipes. You need wipes. Sometimes you mess up your makeup. You need something to clean up really quickly. These are your friend. You need some wipes, okay? And as I've taught, I guess I'm going to drop it on the floor so I can kind of make space on my table. The other thing that you need, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is just a little old raggedy spray bottle that I have. Okay, yes, she is raggedy because I've had her for so long. But let me tell you, this spray little pumper right here, it works just fine. Okay, this is my alcohol. Ladies, anything that we're repeatedly putting on our face, all right, you have to clean. And you should clean them regularly, but I ain't all in your lives and in your business like that, so I can't tell you what your regular should be, right? But if you have a little bit of alcohol, this is a 70% alcohol. If you have a little bit of alcohol in the spray bottle, you can easily clean spot clean your brushes, okay? But like spot clean to disinfect, okay? That's what we got going on. All right, so you just kind of take your paper towels, which is your other tool that you should have. You should have something to wipe your hands with, something to clean off your brushes. All right, and I am very, very, very partial to Sam's Club Members Mark paper towels. Okay, I like the little small sizes. They're very absorbent. I don't waste any. All right, I use these. I love them. But what you do is you can fold your paper towel in half. I have two for the absorbency, right? And then what you do is you're going to take your alcohol and you're going to spray it on your paper towel. And I have here a dirty brush. I brought this dirty brush just for you, boo, so you can see. So do not put me on blast. I'm about to put myself on blast, okay? But look, don't talk about it in the comments. Don't do it, okay? So here's my little dirty brush, right? And then you're going to swirl your brush around. And you're going to get the sides. And you're going to get the sides. This brush she been through it. Let me tell you something, okay? So just like I'm not going to be all up in your life talking about your stuff, don't be talking about mine. All right, and this sucker has both cream and powder all over it. It really does. And then that way I can kind of just refold my paper towels, get a different side, right? Spray it again. And the thing about alcohol is that it dries fairly quickly. So, you know, you just kind of swirl it around. All right, now this brush was super dirty. It really was, okay? But it's a lot better than what it was. But this is also something that you would do. Say you don't have a lot of brushes. You have a very limited number. So if you want to use a brush for more than one thing within your makeup routine, just spot clean it real quick, let it dry, work on something else, and then come back to it, pick up the brush when it's dry, and you can use it. All right, that's how that works. All right, so this is why you need paper towels, you need alcohol, all right, and you need your wipes, okay? So I just want to show you all that really quickly. And I'm going to put these over here to the side. All right, so brushes. You can get away with having 7 brushes to do a complete face of makeup, okay? About 4 face brushes and about 3 eye brushes, okay? 7, 8, anywhere between 7 and 10, and I'm gonna show you why. All right, so face brushes, what you always need is a nice big round powder brush, something very big like this. This is going to be used all over your face with your powder, okay? You need this. You need this. You need this to blend out everything. All right, once you lay everything down, to finish your makeup and sometimes to set your foundation, you will use something like this, a nice big powder brush, right? Then what you need is a foundation brush. Now, if you're a powder foundation type of person, this is all you need, right? But if you like to wear liquids and creams and things like that, can Witch Hazel do the same thing? Now, let me tell you something, Selena. Witch Hazel, all right. Witch Hazel is something that I use, honestly. Witch Hazel will not disinfect. Let me say that, okay? Witch Hazel is not it's not the isopropyl alcohol that's going to kill 99.9% of bacteria. All right, because what I can say is that pre-COVID, all right, I mean, alcohol was already out here killing bacteria. All right, soap and water can kind of help, get rid of viruses per se. Soap and water can kind of do that. Hey, Nicolette. All right, but Witch Hazel, I've never really used Witch Hazel to clean brushes. I guess as a makeup artist and just sanitizing and keeping things clean, I've just always used alcohol. Soap and water will always clean your brushes. All right. Now, Witch Hazel might be able to remove some of the makeup off of your brushes, okay? Because I do use it as a cleansing agent. I do use witch hazel as a cleansing agent on my skin. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use it on your brushes, but it will not disinfect. And the thing about makeup, even if you're putting it in your own products and you're putting it on clean skin, just bacteria just sets in. You know what I mean? It just sets in, and that's just what happens. And so sometimes, when you're applying this stuff to your face and you're using your previously used brushes, I'm going to use previously used instead of dirty, right? It can cause, you're going to deposit this bacteria into your makeup. You're going to deposit it onto your face, and it can cause breakouts. It just depends on people's skin sensitivities. Okay. So to answer your question, witch hazel will probably remove the makeup from the brush, but it will not disinfect. Okay, so let's just say that. So foundation, here's a typical standard foundation brush that you guys may see in a brush kit, which is fine. Okay, I love this type of brush because it allows me to kind of sweep the product on. I can pat product in places. I can get around eyebrows. I can go over my eyelids. I can get under my eye. I can do all of that type of work with this brush, which is absolutely fine. All right, another tool that's very good for foundation are your fingers. But if you wear nails like I do, you might not want to do all of that because you're going to be using up all your wipes. You're going to be constantly going to the bathroom, washing your hands. You better have you a little nail scrub brush by the sink so you can scrub and get all that stuff up underneath. You understand what I'm saying? So it all just depends. If you wear your nails fairly short, your fingers would do the trick just fine. All right. Another type of, okay, so your brushes are your powder brush, your foundation brush. Another type of foundation brush is something that kind of looks like this. All right. And they come in variations. They come in different names. All right. This is what is Real Techniques. And they're calling this a buffing brush, right? But it's very similar to your flat top kabuki brushes, all right? But something that is flat, that's kind of flat top, and that it is synthetic, okay? Cream products work very good with synthetic bristle brushes. It just means that it's not natural hair, all right? It's artificial hairs, all right? But they make most of these companies these days because vegan, cruelty-free, people prefer those kinds of products. So they just kind of make them across the board, right? And so to be vegan and cruelty-free, you kind of go for a synthetic type of bristle. So they're making them now where they work well with creams and with powders. So whatever the fiber of the brush, it's fine. Okay. If you prefer something that is artificial and not from a natural hair source like an animal, okay, like a sable or boar or goat, okay, then you would want to go with the synthetic. But this is a very good brush for applying foundation. You can also buff. You can also use this for powder if you wanted to. All right, it's very constant. It's a smaller brush, so you can do specialty type of things with it, right? So powder brush, foundation brush, gotta have those in your kit. All right, what you also need to have, that's two brushes, right? So an angled brush for your blush. And you can use this kind of brush when you want to do your bronzer, or if you want to do what we call a contour. Hey Sharon, will the alcohol dry your brushes out or make them stiff? Okay, so if you're only using alcohol, then over time it could. So the alcohol is just something that you use to spot clean, okay? But you always want to hit your brushes up with soap and water. And that's just what it is. I always like to add a little bit of I honestly use clarifying shampoo. Right? I mix a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit to help condition my brushes. And then I also use conditioner. I use conditioner in my concoction, and that will cleanse the brushes, and it will leave them feeling soft. So alcohol really is the spot clean. All right, it's not for a deep clean. And so eventually you do want your brushes to hit some soap and water. Okay, you definitely want them to hit some soap and water. Now, real quick, since we're talking about cleaning, real quick. So, you know, these are your bristles, right? Then this would be considered the ferrule. So the ferrule, let me show you on a different kind of brush. So this is the ferrule, right? So the ferrule is what connects the hairs to the actual handle, right? And so when you're cleaning your brushes, you definitely want to clean your handles. You can take a antibacterial wipe or take something, you know, soapy water, paper towel or something, and kind of wipe that down. But you don't really want your water, you really don't want your water to hit the ferrule. You want to clean your brushes right up to this point. All right, because what happens is, and with alcohol will loosen the adhesive over time. So that's why you kind of spot clean. You might want to dip in a shallow bowl with just a little bit of alcohol, because it's going to absorb to the top of the bristle, right? But you don't want it to really sit in this area where the adhesive is, because eventually it can break it down. All right, so alcohol is the spot clean. You do have to hit your brushes up with soap and water. Okay, so let me just say that. So an angled brush like this for your blush, an angled brush like this for your contour or your bronzer. Okay, there's a difference, sort of kind of different. Okay, so those are your three face brushes so far, right? And then what you really have to use is a game changer. You need a small brush, powder brush like this. Okay, and they come in all sizes. You can even do something small like this. All right, because what you really want is, you want something for this under eye area is what you want. So you want something small enough to fit there. So I can show you with all of these. This fits here, right? You want something to fit here, here. You want something to fit there. All right, it's not going to have product all over the place. Real Techniques, again, very good. So something like this that kind of has that tapered. So like it comes to like a point somewhat. So you can fit here, right? And then there's something like this that's even a little bit smaller, right? But it's bigger than this. Okay? Something like this that will fit here. Now, what I will tell you is this. When you buy a brush set, okay, your brush set most likely will not come with brushes that are this size. Okay, so this is a brush that's something separate that you want to go and pick up. You do. Okay, you want to go and pick it up. Companies are just kind of, you know, the way that brush sets, you know, they package them, and they all vary. They all may have a big powder brush. They all may have a foundation brush, a couple of eyeshadow brushes, but then these other brushes in between is what varies. So when you're out looking, even when you're going through your own stash, okay, if you don't have it, it's so easy to just go find an individual brush. Real Technique sells brushes like these in sets. All right, and like they'll all be color coded by the color of the handles, things like that. Those are dirty. I'm not putting those in there. All right, so those are your 4 basic face brushes. You need a powder brush. You need a foundation brush, which could be this or this, right? You need a blush brush, okay? And you need a small powder brush, small, like this, okay? Those are your 4. Okay. If you want to expand, then I would recommend that you use 2 of these. One for blush and one for the bronzing or the contouring of the face. That is what I suggest. You really don't need any more than these 5 brushes. You could do everything with the 4. All right. If I had to even scale down to just regular brushes, powder, foundation, and a small brush, because you can always do foundation with your fingers, or you can use a different type of tool like a wedge sponge. These are disposable, okay? You get rid of these. All right. Now, look, I don't know how these do with the economy, not the economy, Lord Jesus, the what am I trying to say? The environment. I don't know how these do with the environment. I don't know. I had to get back to you on that. But a sponge, all right, is a great tool because you can use it with both powders and creams. All right. You can wet this, it will expand. Okay. You can use it damp, you can use it dry. And I like the Face Secrets. If I had to go get a drugstore brand that wasn't, that's to the consumer and not to a makeup artist, because most makeup artists use Alcone sponges or a beauty blender, right? But for consumer on the market, these Face Secrets, all right, you get these out of Sally's. Sally's is the only place that sell them. I've seen them on Amazon, but they charge way too much, okay? They're like $2, $3 a bag, all right? But I like the medium ultra wedges, all right? I like these the most. Infused with vitamin E, latex-free foam, and it's oil resistant. All right, this is a really, really good brush. Tool. And you kind of hold it like this, right? You pinch the top like this, and you can apply it this way. You might want to use a finger like this, right? And you can, and this is the type of work. You can use this side, and you can blend out your foundation all over your face like this, right? You can switch sides. You can use this and use this under the eye, right? You can use the edges to, it's today Thursday. You can use the edge if you wanted to do like a little bit of nose shaping, things like that, okay? So the wedge sponge really is a really, really great tool. That's good. And then another tool that you can use and to help minimize on brushes is a blender. Now, I can't tell you this is a beauty blender or not. It probably is, all right, but a blender. And when you wet these, they expand, and they have the teardrop side for specialty work. I'm going to call the areas that are really small and tight specialty work. You can use the rounded side for the bigger jobs to get all over, to blend out. You can apply foundation with these. You don't have to. You can apply foundation with your brush and still go in and blend out with this. All right, that's if you want to be a little bit, but you don't have to. Okay, it all just depends on preference, what you want to do, what works best for you. That's kind of how that works, right? So those 4 face brushes, those are your staples. Those 4 are your staples, okay? Now, eyes. You can really get away with a decent eye look, all right, with literally three brushes. The fewer brushes that you use, and if you want to use more than 2 or 3 colors on your eye, then you're definitely going to have to go in with your paper towel and your alcohol, okay? So you have pure color, okay? So you don't muddy up the colors when you're putting them on your eye, all right? But what you could do, or I'll pull out the angle, because most brush sets come with the angle brush, or you can have 2 blending brushes, right? These 4 right here. You really can execute so many looks with just these 4 brushes right here. That's all you really need. You need a big fluffy blending brush like this, okay? It's very soft, all right? And I'm going to compare the two so you can understand what I mean, all right? This is very fluffy, and this is more tapered. Put them side by side so you can see, okay? The size of the brush, is there because you're going to get a different effect, all right? And you have different eye space, all right? Everybody's eyes are different. Some people have, honey, let me tell you something. Me, look at this eye. You see this? I got all this extra skin on my eyeball. Do you see this? Like if I were to pull it up from my lid to the socket, like when my eyes are set regularly, all this flaps over, right? So I need I need small brushes like these to be able to do the work that I like to do with my eyes. But some people, honey, they have what we call prime real estate. And their eye socket, I mean, they just walking around, their eyes just look like this all day. They blink, you can see, oh, you ain't even got to blink. They see all that lid space. It's just, I got eyes for makeup. I got eyes for makeup. You understand what I'm saying? So, you want to use blending brush like this. This will blow out the color. This will give you nice, soft, blended lines. All right. When you want to get into tighter spaces, you want to use something that's a little bit more tapered like this. All right. And it's kind of flat. Also, if you look, right, it's kind of flat because then this allows you to do other things like patting, where you would pat product on the eye to build it up. And then you can use the edge to blow it out, to blend it out. All right. If you want to work on a larger space, right, if you want to cover a larger area on your eye and you're just using one color, then this brush is fine. But a lot of the times, you're going to find yourself going between the two, right? And you also need an eyeshadow brush. That's me, big eyes. Yeah, girl, because your eyes be sitting. But it's beautiful because you don't have to close your eyes. You can see all of that beautiful makeup work, you know? And you just walk around and it's just sitting. For me, I have to kind of create creases and create the illusion, okay? And create the illusion of the eye space that you have. All right, but it can be done. It's makeup. It's whatever. It comes off. Put it on. It comes off. So now, eyeshadow brush, a flat shadow brush. This is something more so that you're going to use on the lid. All right, but like Nicolette said, she has big eyes. So then here you have something like this. That's an eyeshadow brush, right? That covers more space. So it all just depends on your eye shape. Right? So the brushes that you have that you want to keep depend on your actual eye shape. Right? So a flat eyeshadow brush, and you can also do other types of things with these types of brushes, because here you can get under the eye, the waterline down here, you can smudge that out. If you wanted to do a little bit of wing smudging with your eyeshadow, you know, it has that tapered end where you can do that type of work. Okay, if you want to get into that. And then the other third brush that you really need is this angled situation right here. The angle brush is your best friend, and I'm going to tell you why. Because brows, right, if you're not going to use a pencil, you may be able to use a powder. You can definitely do your brow work with an angle brush, okay? You see people using mascara to kind of help, concealer to help carve out the shape, to further define their eyebrows. This is a product that you can, this tool right here is something that you can use that will easily, the shape of the brush does the work for you. Okay, and so that's the piece that you have to learn, how to use the shape of the brush to actually have the brush do the work for you, right? And so this is something where you would clean up under the brow, and as long as your hand is steady, you just kind of move it along, the brush will create the lines for you. It'll be nice and straight, and then you would use, you know, your brush like this to blend it out, or you would use your brush like this to blend it out. Does that make sense? Okay. And that's really, you really can get away. You really can get away with just these three, or variation, throwing this extra tapered right here. So at bare minimum, you're looking at eight brushes. Bare minimum, 8 brushes. Very easy. Okay, very easy. Now, for me, when I do brows, I like to use something that's pretty. Something like this. All right, it's a flat eyeliner brush is what it is. But I use this to clean up under my brows. Again, this is not something that you would typically find in your pre-packaged brush sets that you would go and buy. This is something that you can find separate. And what I'll do is when I repost this video on my page, I'll kind of link a couple of places that you can go and look, All right, so you can find these types of brushes. I like Crown Brush is a website that a lot of makeup artists use to get to buy individual brushes. We have a bunch of duplicates of the same brush because you know that you're going to be working on multiple people sometimes, and so you like a certain brush for a certain job. So you use multiples of those because you know that you're always going to be like, this is your staple, you're going to use it all the time. And I like to buy brushes where I'm going to use them for more than one purpose as well. Okay. Yes. Which one? Which one, Nicolette? You need this one or this one? This one. I also got this from Crown Brush as well. This is a C208 Chisel Shadow Brush. This is something good too, to be honest, that you can use to get in here and do nose contour. All right. Like the thing about tools in makeup, it's not like tools when you're doing construction, right? If you have a nail, right? Could you hammer that nail in with the back of a screwdriver? If you ain't got no hammer, you're gonna try, right? You might try. You might be able to get it in, but it's not really gonna work as well as that regular hammer to put that nail in whatever to nail whatever you're nailing. Does that make sense? But with makeup, it doesn't work that way. Okay, these tools are interchangeable. You can use them how you want to, and whatever gives you the look that you're going for, then go for it. Okay, the straight flat one, yes, the straight flat one. This is also a Crown Brush. Now I know this is an Italian Badger. I have to go back and find the number because this brush, it is worn out. Like when I say I have multiples of these, I have so many of these brushes because I use these all the time. I love these for brows. I love sometimes I'll even apply concealer under the eye with this brush. I mean, it's just, okay, so that's the goal. When you're getting your brushes, you can get away with 8. You might have to, between 8 and 10. Now, for lips, some of us need a lip brush. Some of us don't. Okay? Some of us don't. Me, I don't need a lip brush. I don't need one. Okay? But some of us, we do. Right? So you use your lip liner, your lipstick. You might not need this lip brush, but if you have something on the thinner side and you might want to overdraw your lips to make them fuller, because I know people do that sometimes. All right, you might want to have precision and use a lip brush to go ahead and do that. So that might be something that you want to include in your basic brush kit. Okay, so again, your brushes are contingent on your face structure. All right, it's contingent on what it is that you're trying to execute. But you don't need 20 and 15 brushes. You don't. Okay, 8 is enough. Remember that show 8 is enough? Okay, so now let's jump into the makeup. Basic face. All right. Foundation. If you're a cream or a liquid type of person, all right, then you will definitely be applying your foundation with this buffing brush. Right? You're going to be applying this foundation with the flat foundation brush. You definitely can apply it with your fingers and apply it with the sponge. Now, in the summer months, I'm a powder foundation person. All right? I don't need the cream. I don't need the heavy coverage, full coverage. I don't care if I have blemishes coming through. I just want my face to be defined. So powder foundation is all I need. All right. I won't even use the liquid in the summer, but in the wintertime, most definitely I will be using it. Right. In the summer, I use a powder, skin tone. Now, the thing about MAC, I know it looks lighter than me, but it really isn't. Like this powder comes out very dark. Okay. You need a powder foundation. All right. Or your cream foundation. If you're using creams and liquids, you have to have a powder to set. Okay. So if you're using this, you also have to have this to go with it. All right. So you're going to need a cream and a powder foundation. Now, concealers. All right. Foundations and concealers are pretty much made up of the same products. All right. They have the same ingredients. All right. The consistency might be a little bit different. It might be a little bit more sheer. Concealers typically tend to be heavier because that's what they're intended to do. They're intended to conceal. Okay. So you always want something that is skin tone. If you're going to go, especially if you're just using a powder, you might want to dot on some concealer, right? But then to shape your face, all right, to give your face dimension. If you ever look at yourself without makeup on and you're standing in front of a light, the light is always going to hit those parts of your face that sit out, right? Your forehead, your nose, under your eye, your chin. Naturally, these areas are going to appear lighter, and on some people, because a lot of people, women of color, we have various skin tones on our face. Okay, like some people have darkness here. Some people have darkness around the mouth. Some people have lightness here. You understand what I'm saying? And so the whole purpose of the foundation is to create this even skin tone. All right. Makeup can't do anything about texture. So if you have bumps, if you have acne, if you have maybe some scarring where your skin might be like sunken in some areas, makeup is not going to do anything for texture. All right. That's your skincare routine. And that's a completely different video. All right. But these concealers, you want one on your skin tone. Because again, in the summer, I'm powder and I'm concealer only. So I have skin tone concealer. But then you also want something that's going to mirror naturally what the light does on your face, right? So you definitely want something lighter in here, right? When you have foundation all one shade all over the face, yes, it looks fresh. Yes, it looks even, but it's also very flat. The face has dimension. Okay, and so you want to recreate the dimension. When you even out your skin tone, you want to recreate the dimension. And this is why you see people concealing or highlighting, I should say, with concealer. All right, if you want to go in with your foundation, maybe you have two different color foundations. Like I said, the ingredients are pretty much the same. So it really doesn't matter if you're using two foundations that are of different hues, or if you're going to use a foundation and a concealer combination. It doesn't really matter. The beauty about using concealer is because of the applicator, right? So when you use these two types, right, this applicator is what's going to place the product on. If you're using concealer that comes in a pot, then you're going to need a brush. So now you're going to need another brush, right? So you're going to need another brush to apply the concealer. Then you're going to need another brush to blend it out. So when you just get the concealer that's this, then you eliminate that brush because of the packaging of the concealer. Does that make sense? Okay. Do I use the one that is lighter than my foundation? So what I like to do is you can put them on at the same time, depends on what you want to cover, right? I typically don't put foundation under my eye. I'll put foundation on the perimeter of my face, on the outer, and then I just go in with the concealer, right? And then I just kind of blend it all together. So it all just kind of depends on the type of coverage that you're looking for and what your concerns are on your skin. Now, sometimes people need that coverage of the foundation to kind of cover up the discoloration that's on the face, and then you can kind of go in with your concealer on top to highlight and sculpt to add the dimensions to the face. All right, so it just depends on your skin needs, and it does depend on the consistency of the makeup that you're using. Okay, because the consistency will speak to the coverage, whether it's light coverage, medium coverage, full coverage. Okay. So yes, you need your foundation, you need a powder, you have concealers so you can add the dimension to your face. Now, anything that you put down with cream, you should and must set with powder. So to do that, loose powders are typically what we use to set that. If you have a pressed powder that is light, you can most definitely swirl your brush in a pressed powder and pat it to set those areas. All right. I think you get a little bit more control, honestly, with loose powders, because then you have powders that are very, very fine. You know what I mean? And it gives it that airbrush type of feel. Pressed powders Not so much. Okay. My under eye circles are they? Okay. So yes. But you know what? You also want to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water. A lot of that stuff is just hereditary. Like there's really nothing that you can do about it. There's no type of ointment, cream, gels that you could put on to get rid of that. But what you can do is you can color correct. All right. And so you and I can have a separate conversation and I can kind of go through what you have and show you how to use it. We can do that. Okay. So here's a loose powder by Fenty. I want to say this color is in banana. All right. It's not your typical banana. It's a little bit lighter than what you would find on the market. Is labeled as a banana. I like a banana powder because I'm golden. I have golden undertones, right? So I need something that's yellow that's going to help with the highlighting when I'm adding dimension to my face, right? Another variation of that is drugstore is this Maybelline Fit Me. Okay. But then I know from my deeper complected sisters, Fenty has a shade called Honey that has that banana tone, but it's a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? And that looks gorgeous on dark skin. And then if you don't want any extra color being deposited on your face because you're already getting color from your other products, you can always find you a translucent powder or a colorless powder, right? So many products on the market, so many companies have these types of things. So I want to say, what are the Cover Effects is one. Everybody knows Laura Mercier, right? That's one that's a translucent. Derma Blend has a good one that's a translucent. All right, these they offer these things. If you shop at Sephora, if you shop at Ulta, you can find this stuff. You can find it, and they have it, drugstore, high end, low end, whatever you want to call it. Everybody makes something along those lines. Okay, so you got to have your powders to set the center of the face, right? And then the other thing that you need for your face, for a basic beauty face, is you need a blush, right? Now, if you want to go in and buy individual blushes with one color, that's fine. But things like this that are a trio, or you get a palette that may have 6 colors in there, I like that because you get more bang for your buck. All right, you might not always want to wear the same blush with whatever makeup you're doing. But I like this particular one. This is called Pool Party because it has peach and pink tones. And so because I'm golden, that peach really is a more natural flush color for me, right? So the trios, you need a blush. And some people don't like blush. If you don't like blush, then you got to have you a bronzer, okay? So again, this is Fenty. This is the Cocoa Naughty. All right, something like this. So this will substitute for having another cream product to contour with. You don't really, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. You can still define your face very well with just this, right? And so this is where this angled brush comes into play because the shape of the brush is what's going to place the product on your face in a way that's going to help accentuate your facial structure. All right. That's why angle brush is safe. It is safe. It is safe. It is safe. It is foolproof. All right. When you're using, what I didn't show you is that when you're using this right here, all right, this is where you want to use this type of brush. You just kind of dip it in there and then you pack it in and then you brush it away. All right. We're not doing any baking. If you're like me and you're 40 and up, all right, we're not putting powder on our eyes and we're just leaving it there and then we come back and we dust it away. We ain't got time for all of that. We getting older. Under eye is real dry, so you don't want it to be looking extra dry, okay? It will add some age to you. You don't want to do that, okay? All right, so you got your bronzer. If you don't, bronzers run red, okay? So, and they're not all made equally. So you don't always have to have a product that is marketed as a bronzer. You can always get you a foundation powder, right, that's a little bit darker than your skin tone, and it will do the same thing. All right, so please know that sometimes these things are marketed And it's marketed in a way to get you to buy it. But you got to know your skin tone. You have to know what colors work well for you, and that there are other varieties and things that you can buy to achieve what you know, to get you that face. Foundation powder is a very good one. All right. You got to have a brow product. All right. I don't care if you use pencils. I don't care if you use a powder. I don't care if you use a pomade, the tinted gels, whatever you use, you got to have brows. All right. And if you already have nice full brows, then your brow product would be a clear brow gel, just so that they are groomed and they are sitting in place and they're looking very beautiful and nice. Okay. That's all you really need is a clear brow gel if you have nice, very full brows. All right. And you can always still go in with your concealer and still carve out that shape, and it's going to look freshly arched. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And then last but not least, your eyeliner. So again, just like a brow pencil, they come in liquid, right? They come in gels and they come in pencils, right? The thing about a gel, that if it comes in a pot, then you definitely will need this kind of brush to put it on, okay? If you have a pencil, you just using the pencil, but then you might also want to, a good trick to keep your eyeliner lasting, if you're using a pencil, apply it, smudge it out, and then apply another layer on top. Okay, that's a little quick tip for y'all. And your mascara, gotta have your mascara. All right, no face is complete without it. And then whatever lip product you're going to use during these COVID times, I really just been wearing lip gloss, not even chapstick or nothing. Okay, because I just can't. I tried to wear a red lip the other day. Matter of fact, I took a picture. It's on my Instagram. I wore red, but when I took my mask off, it was like, oh, down here on my chin and stuff. But I don't wear makeup down here when I wear my mask. It's just eyes up. So I was able to just kind of, you know, wipe it away, and I wasn't removing any makeup because I didn't have any. But why go through all of that when you know you're gonna wear a mask, right? So something clear, low tint to it. All right. Eyeshadow, if you must. Okay, because I promise you, on everything I love, you can take your bronzer, your deeper tone face powders, and your foundation powders, and you can do eyeshadow with just these. You don't need an eyeshadow palette, but if you have to have one, something that is basic and minimal. See this little cutie right here? You see this? Six colors. And different finishes. So this one has 2 shimmers and everything else is matte. So the shimmers will be your lid colors, right? The mattes would be your crease colors, and you can, it's makeup. So you can really put it where you want to. If you want to put a shimmer under the brow bone, you can, all right? But right here, boom, 6 colors. That's all you need. That's all you need. So here's another variation. Again, I like Tarte. I like Tarte. Tarte makes a quality product, all right? And again, I'm golden, I'm warm, I'm golden. So these warm tone shadows are beautiful, okay? So here you have your deep dark browns right here. You can also use these as liners. You can actually use this as a brow product, all right? You have different finishes. You have satins, you have shimmers, you have your mattes, all right? So again, if you wanted to play, you have more color options, all right, and combinations that you can create with something like that. And then, you know, if you're a little bit more adventurous, here's something like the Jackie Aina palette, ABH, you know, Anastasia at Beverly Hills. They just make a good eyeshadow. They really do. All right, but we know that Black Lives Matter. So if you want to support Jackie, then you can get this. But if not, you know, there are, I mean, literally, there are quite a few Black-owned makeup brands that create phenomenal eyeshadows. Phenomenal. Okay, and I will also link some of those. Actually, yeah, I'll link some of those so you can go check those out, because I would rather you spend your money with them over there. But again, this is something that's a little bit, so for someone who's more adventurous. But again, you still have your staple products, right? You have your deep browns, you have your more transitional colors here. You see these more softer browns, and then you have these pops of color, all right? And then you have your shimmers. You have like something that's very glittery. You have shimmers. You have greens, golds. Okay. So you can really create a variety of looks with something like that. So I just kind of want to show you the variations depending on your comfort level, right? Some types of palettes that you might want to go ahead and get. All right. So now we've gone through the basics. You know what kind of brushes and tools that you need to have. You know what kind of makeup that you need to have. All right. So what are we going to do with it? How do I apply it? How do I use it? How do I get a nice, beautiful finish, right? That is very no fuss, but very professional. Okay. So today, I appreciate you guys spending this time with me. And I want to extend an offer to you all. Okay. I have, and I did a little teaser already, but I have established a makeup class. It is a boot camp. Okay. And it's the Bodacious Beauty Boot Camp. So you can have bold, natural makeup, right? Just using these basic items. All right. And if you don't have all of this stuff, then I'm going to show you how to use what you do have to still create something of this quality. All right. I actually use these makeup products today, and I created this face. All right. Very basic, but still very flawless and very beautiful. All right. So typically when I do a makeup class, I typically charge about $75 an hour. Right? And so a class, usually in order for me to show you how to do it and then let you perform it on yourself, and then I come in and I critique and correct and help you fine tune some things, that usually takes about 2 hours. Right? So already you're looking at $150 when you come have a one-on-one class with me. Right? But for my Bodacious Beauty Boot Camp, I am offering you this live session. It is virtual. I use a I do, we do, you do method, so that way I can show you how to apply it. Right? We do it together, so you can pattern yourself off of me. But then there's a segment where you guys get to do it yourself, and I get to look at you and critique and help fine tune your technique. Okay. You'll also be getting an ebook. So I have created this beautiful manual that not only shows you and links to these brushes and these tools that you need, the makeup that you need, but it's also inspirational. So like I was saying in the very beginning about how I got into makeup and how really this is my ministry and being able to pour into people. Okay, my book really is something that I have spent a lot of time on, and it is embedded and infused with all type of inspirational quotes and sayings and things that I love, that I refer to whenever I need a pick me up. Just something to remind me how fierce and how beautiful and how strong that I am. And I wanted to share that with you so I can also pour into you as well. Right? And so also with this offer, you will get a replay. You will have access to the replay of your class. All right? For a lifetime. You'll be able to go back in and look at us going through this class. You can fast forward, rewind, pause. You can hone in on different things. All right, in this video, it is going to be yours for life that you get to keep. And then as an added bonus, as a follow-up session, when you take my class, I'm offering you a 30-minute follow-up consultation. All right. All of that is a value of $275. That's quite a bit of value, right? But I'm offering you this class today, guys, for $59.99. All right. And I'm able to do it, and I'm offering it to you at this price because yes, you do have to provide your own makeup. But the beauty of it is that I'm showing you how to use what you have. You already have these things. You're already familiar. You may not be familiar with it. I don't know. Some of you may just buy makeup all the time and you don't even really use it, right? So you will be able to take this opportunity with me and I will show you how to use these products, how to blend them out, how to maximize, what you have and minimize your routine. All right. 8 brushes, foundation, foundation powder, concealer, a loose setting powder, brow, eye, lip, blush, and bronzer, right? And that is what I'm offering you today. All right, so I will post all the information under this video for you all to go ahead and check it out. The dates are, I have 4 sessions in the month of August. Okay, so you have plenty of time to do the research, to check it out, to sign up. I'm limiting the classes to 10 seats per class because I want to be able to go in and look at everybody and critique and fine tune your technique. Okay, so 10 slots, 4 sessions in the month of August. All right, either on a Wednesday or a Saturday. All right, Wednesdays the classes are in the evening beginning at 6:30, and Saturdays the classes are in the morning beginning at 11:30. So all you need is your computer. You got to have the Zoom app. All right, and you're just going to bring your makeup and your tools. How does that sound? All right. So if you think that this class would be something for you, if you guys have these brushes, if you need more brushes, don't buy any more brushes. I'm going to show you using what you already have. I'm going to show you how to use it. Okay. So are there any questions? I see 6 of you still in here rocking with me, and I appreciate that. Do you all have any questions about any of the products that I've shown, the brushes that I've shown? All right. Any questions about the class? All right. I am here to take your questions. So let me ask you guys something. How comfortable on a scale of 1 to 5, how comfortable do you think you are with your makeup application? 1 being the least, 5 being the most. Okay. You can go ahead and type your 1, 2, 3, or 5 in the comments for me. Y'all ain't typing nothing, so all y'all need to take my class. Oh, okay, here we go. Makeup brands to use for basics. Okay. A 3. Okay. So this is the thing, right? You kind of got to consider some things. I don't know what you would typically spend on makeup. I don't really look to one particular brand. I kind of look at all brands have something great that they make. Does that make sense? And so for drugstore and for my color, like I really am very partial to Black Opal, and I'm very, very partial to Milani. I think those are my 2 top drugstore, and then a close third would be Maybelline. I think those 3 are the best suited for women of color. They offer, all the products here, the loose powders, the concealers, the foundation, the bronzers, the blushes. They offer all of that. All right, and so I love those. When it comes to drugstore. When it comes to more high-end, the Ulta, Sephora type of stuff, so there's I love MAC powders. Hands down, I love MAC powders. I love Lancome foundation. Their color matches. I just really like products that are able to match me very well. when it comes to skin. So like when it comes to eyeliners and things like that, like I would use drugstore in a minute. I have no problem with that. It's all the same ingredients. They just slap a different label on it, right? And they're all made in the same factory. Like L'Oreal owns so many of these products L'Oreal is a big manufacturer. They own a lot. It's a parent company to a lot of these other higher ends, and it's all the same stuff. It's all made in the same warehouse or whatever the case may be. They just slap different names on it with a different price point. Okay, I'll be honest with you. So like NARS is another one that has good color pigmentation that is very close to my skin tone. Okay, I love me some NARS. Fenty, for me, the foundations run very red. Okay, I am very golden. It's only good for me in the summertime when I'm tan, but in the winter I cannot use Fenty at all. It's too red. It is too red, too pink. I'm more yellow. I can't use it, right? And that's about it. And I find that the higher end that you go with makeup brands, the fewer color choices that they have because they don't really cater to women of color, to be quite honest. Okay, so I mean, it is what it is. So you kind of have to go with the company that's going to cater to us, that's going to make the products for us. So there are so many, and I don't know off the top of my head right now, but Colored Rain is a company that I love, black owned, and I'm glad it was helpful. Black owned, they make excellent eyeshadows. I love them. I love everything that they do. Love them. I know everybody has heard of Juvia's Place. All right, but I was very skeptical of Juvia's Place in the beginning because a lot of their stuff was manufactured in China. And I just be quite honest, I don't really China, they have just recently reconfigured their regulations for ingredients. In For years, they had no government regulations on raw ingredients that went into makeup, and so that's why people were able to outsource overseas and to get makeup manufactured over there and sell it over here at a very low price point, and ain't no telling where they're getting these ingredients from. Okay, and so European standards, Canadian standards, American standards really are the ones, their governments are regulating the ingredients, the raw ingredients that go into your makeup. And so you kind of have to watch and see where this stuff is being manufactured as well. Prime Beauty, like if you're looking for bronzers that are good for brown girls, Prime Beauty is, I love them. I use them in my kit. It's highly pigmented, but the color is right. Okay, and they have deep, and I use them primarily for my deeper complected sisters because they have deep tones that show up beautiful. They're beautiful. I love them. Okay, fair skin, somebody my complexion a little bit lighter, you're going to be able to pick and choose from way more manufacturers. But when you get into, my darker sisters, it's limited. And so it's nice that certain companies are starting to create products, you know what I mean, for my women of color. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peace out. Okay. I didn't really want this to be long. I honestly went over about 13 minutes. Okay. But I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for rocking with me, spending this time with me. And again, do not forget Bodacious Beauty Boot Camp for the month of August. All right. $59.99. It is jam-packed full of makeup artists, tips. All right. And it is such an incredible value for such a great price. Okay. Thank you so much. And I will see you all soon. Stay safe.